Hello and a very warm welcome back to Legends of Britain. I'm so glad you could join us. This is the channel where we explore the most baffling and intriguing crime stories from all corners of the United Kingdom. Tales of mystery, suspense, and the darker side of our history. Thank you for being a part of our journey as we uncover these legendary cases, and as always, thank you for your incredible support. We often see our great cities as beacons of progress and modernity, bustling hubs of business and innovation. Yet beneath the veneer of glass towers and crowded streets lies a darker reality. Here, the crimes aren't always about brute force or chance encounters. They are about power, influence, and the deadly secrets that powerful men and women will go to any lengths to protect. In the world of high finance and political backrooms, a betrayal can be a matter of life and death, and a single whispered word can be more dangerous than a loaded gun. It's a world where the truth is a commodity, and a journalist's relentless pursuit of it can make them a target. Tonight, we expose one such story. Tonight, we journey to the very heart of London's historic Fleet Street, a place once synonymous with the pounding heart of British journalism. But this is not a story of headlines and deadlines. It's a chilling tale of what happened to a renowned investigative journalist, a man who thought he was exposing a simple story of corruption. He was silenced, and his last desperate act left a coded message that spoke of a conspiracy far bigger and more dangerous than anyone could have imagined. This is the mystery of the silent witness of Fleet Street. Adam Cross was not a man to be underestimated. In the high-stakes world of British journalism, he was a legend, a tenacious and uncompromising investigative reporter who had a reputation for digging up stories no one else dared to touch. Known for his sharp wit and an almost obsessive commitment to the truth, he had spent years uncovering corruption in the highest echelons of power. His work, often published in the back pages of a small independent paper, had toppled politicians and exposed corporate greed, earning him a long list of powerful enemies. But Fleet Street also knew him as a solitary figure, a man who trusted his sources more than his colleagues and preferred to work alone. It was this fierce independence that made him so effective, but also so vulnerable. In the weeks leading up to his death, his friends noticed a new kind of tension in him. He was on the verge of a breakthrough, he told a close confidant, a story so big it could shake the very foundations of the country. Little did anyone know it would be his last story. The discovery of Adam Cross's body was a grim start to a Tuesday morning. He was found slumped over his desk in his small, cluttered office, located down a narrow, forgotten alley just off Fleet Street. A cleaning lady, arriving for her morning round, was the first to find him. She let out a scream that echoed through the quiet grey corridor, bringing the local constables running. To a casual observer, it might have looked like he had simply fallen asleep, but a closer look revealed a far more sinister truth. He had been poisoned. There were no visible signs of a struggle, no blood, and no forced entry. The scene was disturbingly tidy, as if the perpetrator had wanted to leave a specific message. However, the skin on his face and hands had a strange mottled blue-grey pallor, and a faint yet acrid smell lingered in the air, the silent signature of a lethal and untraceable toxin. It was a cold, precise murder. His eyes were wide open, staring blankly at the stacks of old newspapers on his desk. The only disturbance was a small, tightly folded piece of paper clutched in his hand. It wasn't a suicide note. It was a cryptic and bizarre string of numbers and letters, a silent witness to a crime that had taken place in the heart of London, in a world where secrets are sold for a price. The small, folded piece of paper found clutched in Adam Cross's hand became the central piece of the investigation. Back at Scotland Yard, the note was carefully examined. It was a bizarre sequence of numbers and letters, a jumbled mess of what seemed to be a forgotten language. The forensic team worked tirelessly, feeding the sequence into every modern cryptographic tool and database they possessed. But it yielded nothing. It wasn't a standard cipher, a secret key, or anything they could recognize. Chief Inspector Davies, a seasoned detective, grew increasingly frustrated. "It's a dead end, sir. It's gibberish," he reported. But a retired elderly codebreaker from the intelligence unit, brought in as a last resort, saw something the others had missed. He peered at the note through his spectacles, and a flicker of recognition crossed his face. "This isn't modern, son," he said with a gravelly voice. "This is old. This is the work of a phantom, a long-dead intelligence agency from the Cold War era. They had their own unique language designed to be untraceable. The note wasn't gibberish at all. It was a silent witness, a relic from a hidden world, and it was a direct message from Adam Cross, meant to be found by someone who knew how to read it. The police now knew they weren't dealing with a simple murder, but a conspiracy with a history as long as London itself. They needed an expert, a phantom from that old world to help them. With the investigation at a standstill, the police were forced to seek out a legend, a man who had been a ghost in the shadows of London for decades. His name was Arthur Finch, a retired master codebreaker and a relic from the height of the Cold War. The police found him living a solitary life in a quiet London borough, a man who preferred his garden to the city's frantic pace. Finch was initially reluctant. His past was filled with secrets and bloodshed, and he wanted nothing more than to leave it behind. "That world is dead, Inspector," he grumbled, his voice as dusty as the old books on his shelves. "Leave it buried." But when the officer laid the coded note on his table, Finch's eyes, though aged, still held a sharp intelligence. He stared at the sequence of numbers and letters, a flicker of recognition crossing his face. This wasn't just a code, it was a signature from a long-dead network he had once worked for. A secret language only a handful of people in the world had ever known. Adam Cross's final act was a cry for help, written in a language meant specifically for someone like him. The detective saw the shift in Finch's posture. The old spy had come to a decision. He would help, not for the police, but to honour a secret brotherhood and to solve the final puzzle of a man who had trusted the wrong secrets. Arthur Finch, the old spy, sat hunched over the coded note for hours, a powerful magnifying glass in his hand. Inspector Davies watched on, an impatient modern copper observing a forgotten ritual. The old man wasn't just reading the letters and numbers, he was feeling their rhythm, their cadence. Finally, he looked up, his eyes grave. "It's not a message," Finch said, his voice a low growl. "It's a key, a cipher to unlock his real work." Using a few key numbers from the note, Finch was able to access Adam Cross's encrypted files on his computer. What they found there sent a chill down Davies' spine. It was a sprawling, meticulously detailed investigation into a clandestine network of shell companies, all linked to a senior cabinet minister and a handful of powerful figures in the city. Adam Cross had uncovered a massive scheme involving the siphoning off of public funds and illegal arms trading to a conflict zone in the Middle East. "This wasn't just a story, Inspector," Finch explained. "This was treason. Cross was about to expose the very people who run this country." They both understood the danger now. The murder wasn't a random act of violence. It was a cold, calculated assassination ordered from the highest levels of power. They were no longer just solving a murder. They had stumbled into a world of political conspiracy where their lives were now very much on the line. With the full scale of the conspiracy now laid bare, Inspector Davies and Arthur Finch knew they were hunting shadows. Their target was not a common criminal, but a powerful network of influential people who could vanish evidence and silence witnesses with a single phone call. They realized they couldn't simply present Adam Cross's encrypted files. They needed irrefutable proof. Davies, using his authority, secured warrants to trace the money trail, while Finch, the old spy, used his knowledge of the city's underbelly. Finch, a master of disguise and deception, managed to covertly infiltrate a key location, a seemingly innocent shipping firm that was the front for the illegal arms dealing. There, he found the physical ledgers that meticulously documented the entire operation. The moment their targets realized they were being watched, the pressure intensified. Davies found his career under threat from his superiors, and Finch was nearly captured by the very same network that had killed Cross. They were fighting against an enemy with limitless resources, but they had one thing the enemy didn't: Adam Cross's final, desperate work. The climax came in a dramatic confrontation. Davies and Finch, armed with the physical ledgers and the encrypted files, met with a small, trusted group of special investigators. They laid out the full, damning evidence. The arrests began swiftly and quietly. The silent witness of Fleet Street, the coded note in Adam Cross's hand, had finally spoken, and its truth brought down some of the most powerful people in the country. Adam Cross died for his story, but in his death he became a legend who exposed a truth too big to be buried. The tragic story of Adam Cross is a powerful reminder that even in the heart of our modern cities, truth can be a dangerous pursuit. His courage, which cost him his life, ultimately exposed a conspiracy that reached the highest levels of power. It serves as a testament to the bravery of those who dare to seek the truth, no matter the personal cost. What did you think of tonight's story? Were you as shocked as we were by the conspiracy hidden in plain sight? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If this story gripped you, then please do subscribe to Legends of Britain and join our community. Your support is what allows us to keep bringing these fascinating and often unsettling stories from our nation's history to light. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.